How about if I let you do that to my head?
Welcome back to Spin Cycle, everybody. I'm Kaylee Fretz. Today on the show, Ineos have a brand new kit, which hasn't put off new signings, surprisingly. Premier Tech's phone has been blowing up, and cycling on TV could be getting all mixed up once again. Terrible news. Let's get to it. Welcome to the show, Kit Nicholson. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
You have a good weekend?
It was a weekend.
You work all weekend, so probably
I did,
not.
yeah. I mean, I watched a bunch of bike riders get progressively more muddy on Sardinia. So.
What a great way to describe cyclocross. Welcome to the show, Johnny Long.
What's up? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Should we get straight into today's biggest story? December 8th's biggest story, which is the update in kit. Potentially just a training kit, maybe the racing kit. We don't really know. But Ineos was photographed over the weekend in. How do we describe this? Okay, so this is obviously a podcast, and so for anybody who hasn't seen this, we do need to bring
Some
description
yeah.
into. I first of all, the bike matches.
Yep.
So I would say that this is maybe a
Yeah.
racing kit.
Also, it's predominantly white, and who in their right mind produces a training kit which is going to be more washed than any other kit
Yes.
Good
in
point.
white? So, yeah,
So the kit, let's start from the feet and work upwards.
Okay.
let's do that.
White shoes, presumably, for most of the... At least in the picture we've seen,
Well,
they've been
That
white
is
shoes.
Ganna, whose personal sponsor is Northwave. So,
Ah,
He's got big feet.
good point. Ghana with a
He's a big
very
man.
luscious beard as well. So, white socks,
Yep.
kind of a must.
Standard.
White shorts.
Oh.
Here we go. Now
Yep.
it's getting a bit interesting. White midriff.
Yeah.
White stomach.
in a
with
slightly
Total-
different shade of white, let's
Yeah,
point
slightly
out.
different white with Total Energy's logo. Then at the chest and upwards, orange, but with Grenadiers written sort of
Bubble
printmaker
writing.
label effect, like cut out on white on top of the orange, and then like one orange cuff. So, and that's the same effect on the bike frame.
You know what, fellas? It goes very well with our branding.
Oh, do you think they're trying to co-opt us?
No, it's
Interesting.
it's not quite the right orange. It's more
No.
creamsicle
Well,
than
they've also, it's also not quite the right white for their own bloody jersey. But anyway, I mean, I saw this, and the three Escape members who occasionally enjoy my colour geekery that I am rarely given the opportunity to. I don't
Wait,
know,
are we headed into Kit's Pantone corner right now?
This was well. I mean, this is
Pantone
a rare,
pantry? The
Pantone's-
Pantone pantry?
or Pantone cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Well, it's got to be alliterative. Come on.
Well, I'm just
What are we
okay.
doing
So, but we can't keep going in and out of the pantry.
We'll just stay there.
It's winter.
Yeah, it's a great place to be.
Yeah, good place for biscuits. I don't know. Anyway, so this is some of our dear listeners know that I've got a creative past in a more visual way than I do, obviously inhabit now. But and so I'm slightly across various things, including what happened last week, which was Pantone. They kind of like the
Yeah, what do they
rulers
do?
of color. Yeah, they're
They
they're a
decide the
brand,
colours.
but they're kind of like the foremost. I don't, it's a
Gatekeepers
bit
of
like
colour.
Isaac Newton invented gravity. They invented color.
Okay, that's cool.
I've made that up, but anyway.
No, I think it's
So there's been a lot of I was going to say hoo-ha. Let's go with it. In the past week or so, about the decision Pantone has made for their colour for 2026. They have a colour of the year. And it's quite often, I mean, last year I think it was mocha for whatever reason. It's
yeah,
been
mocha
various
was very
shades of, various shades of colour. And then this year they've gone with a kind of off-white, which...
Mocha like the sort of light brown.
Like a light brown coffee,
I mean,
like
if you-
warm coffee color.
If you
Yeah.
sort of keep an eye on cycling fashion, there has been a hell of a lot of light brown
Well, yes,
going
and
around.
and now we come to this well, the reason for this story is
Where
that
we coming in.
2026 the color is Cloud Dancer, which is basically just slightly off white. It's in the grey sort of department, and that is the color of Ineos' shorts. Now, let me give you a description of Cloud Dancer from Pantone themselves. A lofty white that serves as a symbol of calming influence in a society rediscovering the value of quiet reflection. A billowy white imbued with serenity. Cloud Dancer encourages true relaxation and focus, allowing the mind to wander and creativity to breathe, making room for innovation. And then they've also, in their social media, been talking about a blank page, which is also relevant to Ineos, I would say. So it kind of feels like this is almost deliberate.
Yeah, but is that
the
what you
timing
want
is-
from the people riding behind you?
No, well, that's, yeah.
You know, calm and creativity? Maybe you do. If you're in a breakaway, whoever's riding behind you is feeling calm and creative at that particular moment.
Some people online have been calling them Team Traffic Conios.
Yeah, which is definitely better.
Is that the right pronunciation? Conios? Ineos? Yeah. Traffic Conios.
Yeah. It looks a little bit like the Monegasque flag, and they do, of course, have foremost Monegasque rider who's never forgotten.
Victor Langolotti.
That's the word.
Boom. I'm awake on
Yeah.
Monday.
Got
Look,
it.
the thing with this kit is that what I would say is that cycling kit comes in waves, right? Of you get good ones, you get bad ones. It's all part of the fun and games. Like Cofidis have their weird red and yellow one, and then they've like released their new one for 2026, which is the same as the old one. And I would say that's the bottom of the barrel approach to you have a pretty naff kit and you don't really do anything about it. Whereas Ineos have been slowly sliding into having worse and worse kits.
This is at least better than their second half of 2025 kit, though.
Completely agree. And so what they've done now is just gone for like, let's just make an offensive kit, which is much better because it evokes a reaction.
At least it
a
stands for
feeling.
something.
It stands
Well,
for something,
yeah.
even if that is aesthetic.
Blank page,
unpleasantness.
innocence. All
So
of this
I'm
sort of thing.
I'm a big fan. The one problem I have is that I cannot see that kit getting a big win in 2026. Like you imagine
also-
the Paris-Roubaix Velodrome, you imagine, the tour, a big Tour de France mountain stage or whatever. The Alpe d'Huez. If that kit wins, it will look so silly.
It will be easy to pick out in the peloton, though.
It will.
Just big
yeah.
blob of white.
Yes,
Although-
except, yeah.
yeah. Well, Kit's been
Yeah.
on one with the,
Well,
with the
I've
colour
been
stuff.
a little bit of amateur sleuthing. Another, in the period of announcements, Lidl Trek have just announced a new partnership with Gatorade, their hydration partnership,
Love that.
which of course supported Team Sky in 2012. So Teo Gegenhardt is delighted to be back on the Gatorade train. But interestingly, in the announcement, they've got some very aero bottles on a Trek Madone. But the Madone has got a new colorway. Now it could be
Hold on, I'm
Vacek's
gonna look
Yes,
this up.
Check.
that's what I thought.
Look
Czech
this up.
national champs kit frame to kind of throw us off. But it's red and white, crucially, the frame.
Yes.
It's a new paint job that we haven't seen before. So are we going to see Pantone predicting the future of cycling? And
I
that
mean,
there's going to be
yeah.
even more white in the peloton in 2026.
I mean, I would assume that the, like I said, they picked mocha, as we would say here, and then we're the broader
Yeah,
cycling
yeah.
world is covered in brown for a couple years, for better or for probably worse. These kits, even the bad ones, are designed by designers
yeah,
who probably care about this sort of thing, right? Who care about whatever
You'd hope so, yeah.
You'd hope so.
meaning is, yeah.
Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if we end up. I'm pulling up the little Trek announcement here.
Johnny just has.
I had it.
Oh, I was looking at my phone
Yeah.
while
Lucky
you were
boy.
doing
A
that.
classic youth move, that.
A classic.
Do you want me to show you again?
Show me again. I mean, I have it now, but yeah.
Bear with. Yes, I mean, yeah, you're like it's weird, like, and I don't think we should be that surprised when everything like all the different cycling
Yeah.
teams and colorways move in tandem, because I feel like they'll come from similar worlds, and it's not.
Yep.
It's like quite a closed. It's all everyone hangs out with each other. This is the bike with the white. I think this could be Vacek's bike, but
Is there?
more?
Can we see what chainring size that is? Because that would tell us whether this is a pro bike or just like one that they found in a back shed somewhere.
I'm the wrong person.
Could also just be Photoshop.
Can you see that? Is that good enough?
It's a 52. It's a 5239 on there.
So it
Facing
could
which
be-
cardinal direction?
Could be a training bike.
Could be a
Could be
training
a
bike.
pro training bike. 39 little ring is quite high for an amateur. I would say likely that this is a pro training bike.
Well, there we
50
have it. Kit might have got the exclusive there for Little Treks 2026 kit. The thing about Ineos's kit, to bring us background from rampant speculation
Yep.
on the Gatorade boys, is that the Ineos kit has not put off Jack Haig, friend of the show, from signing with the team. So
Good
we
for
are
him.
we're happy for Jack to be
We are.
to be back in a World Tour team.
Sam Welsford is also at training camp.
Sam
despite
Welsford was also
having
there, not announced
not
yet.
signed yet. Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how our friendship with Jack Haig meshes with Ineos Grenadiers' utter contempt for us. To be honest, that is something that will, January 1st or January 4th, whenever we're back at work, I'll wake up, log on in the morning, and be like, oh, that's something to look forward to. In the months to come.
Send Jack a quick note. See what's going on. Speaking of white bicycles,
Was it
Tadej
all white?
Pogacar's.
I don't think
is
this
it?
was
It-
right, actually.
Doesn't it?
Black.
Doesn't it have white on it? I thought
Oh,
it was
yeah,
mostly
that's what's
white.
on
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway, my attempt at a segue into
Sorry,
talking
I'm
about.
gonna let you go with it.
Yeah, you should just let me go. It's 8:00 in the morning.
None of us have bought it. It doesn't matter.
So, Tadej Pogacar's bike, the one that we were talking about last week's show, went for what was 190,000 euros.
500. No, dollars.
Dollars.
Yeah.
Why was it sold in dollars?
I don't know.
Weird. Anyway, but for a lot of money. What is that? Is that more than? That's way more than 10x what Jonas's bike went for.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
That's rough.
Way more, like 15,
like-
20x, I think.
That's rough. That's rude.
Can confirm was a almost entirely black bicycle.
Okay.
And which doesn't matter because whatever color it was, it sold for a buttload of money. Now that it's closed, the auction. Sotheby's have taken a lot of the details off the website. I don't know why that is. That seems a very
annoying.
British
Top secret.
thing to do. Of we don't want to talk about the gross amount of money that this bike's gone for.
Yeah.
But yeah, insane. That was in the last 5 hours. I think it went up another 100k.
That's
so
kind of what
more
happens
than
in
doubled.
auctions usually, though, isn't it?
I guess, but
still,
yeah. You are right. But it still
Didn't happen to
weird,
Jonas's bike.
Did not,
You.
or Kian. Yes. So congrats to whoever has all that money to spend on a bike.
I have a question. Do we
Yeah,
know where
go
the
for
money
it.
goes?
We asked this on Friday, but we don't know the answer to that question.
Maybe the
Yeah.
sustainability desires of the XRG component of UAE Team Emirates.
Could be.
Unlikely. Don't know where it goes. Hopefully,
I mean,
charity.
we
If
said
not,
this before.
Pogacar.
In an ideal world, his foundation or something like that would be what we'd hope for, right?
But why haven't they
No.
told us that?
Yeah, good
We're
point.
not allowed to know.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a good
like realistically, if it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
going somewhere good,
Yes,
they would have
they'd
told
They'd
us.
have told everybody.
And because they didn't tell us, it's not going
well.
anywhere good. Allegedly. The funniest part of this to me is not the number, which is crazy big. Okay. But at the same time, like Pogacar is, he's in the next Merckx discussion, whereas Vingegaard
yeah.
isn't, right? And so this is like,
Yeah.
if you're when you're trying to compare these two riders, and you're like, okay, well maybe Jonas is a better Tour de France rider, maybe that could still prove to be true, right? Over the next couple of years, we don't know. But the fundamental reality is that Pogacar's versatility and his ability to do all these other things, and his willingness to do all these other things, has made him, by this measure, what is this 20x
It's
more
21
valuable?
times. I looked,
Yeah,
I checked.
21 more times.
I
21
asked if
times
I
more
could.
valuable. Yeah.
I mean, it renders them, or it kind of shows just how much they are different commodities to be really crass. I mean, Vingegaard's bike was bought by somebody who's going to rock up at the
That's
cafe
what
with a good story,
Yeah.
whereas Pogacar's bike is going to go on some rich dude's wall.
Yep.
It's well,
Yeah. Okay. Can I? I'm putting my hand in the air right now. If Visma does this again next year, Escape Collective is buying Jonas Vingegaard's bike.
Whoa.
We
So
need
we're
this, don't we?
forecasting a good fiscal 2026.
Don't we need
That's
this?
good to know.
It didn't go for that much money.
Definitely.
no, it didn't.
Don't. I think we need. I think the members would get behind this.
Yeah,
Well,
And then
What
what
about
we
us?
could do, is like one of the bonuses of being an Escape Collective member could be that we ship you the bike and you get to ride it around for like a week or two.
jeez,
Oh,
you
and
ship-
then we could
and you
just
ship
ship
back.
it around everyone.
Exactly.
amazing!
good
like
idea.
a round
Yeah.
robin on a bicycle.
Yeah, round. So like lifetime members, you get to ride Jonas Vingegaard's bike for.
Yeah,
That is a really good idea.
if you're the right
Yeah.
size.
Well, you could just ride it around anyway. You could like ride.
Yeah,
to the,
true.
We could put some flat bars on it. You could ride to the
Yeah.
bar. You know, it'd be great.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Let's do it. Let's do it next year.
Do we think that this bike has been purchased as in Pogacar's one, with a view that Pogacar bikes could be like the new Bitcoin or crypto?
Well, do you remember the story about Colnago and NFTs?
Yes, vaguely.
Yeah,
So I think this bike would have come with a Colnago NFT.
Oh, well, that's why it went for so much then.
Obviously.
because NFTs are such a big deal. That was
But-
a funny blip in the 20.
It was a very funny blip, but
2020s.
but genuinely, I remember talking to one of the guys who I think he's like, he's not the CEO, but he's quite high up on the marketing side at Colnago, old friend of mine, who is the one behind the NFT concept. And I remember talking to him and genuinely coming away being like, okay, of all the sort of silly things that NFTs have been used for, that actually makes the most sense because it was basically like a proof of ownership
Yeah.
of a
provenance,
physical object that you like would actually want, as opposed to like a JPEG.
Like
And
a certificate of authenticity.
yeah, basically it was just blockchaining certificate of authenticity, which is actually kind of a cool concept. And I think they even had like little chips in them that you could like scan and determine if it was the right thing. This is years ago now, and
Yeah.
I mostly
moved on.
I mostly was not trying my best not to pay attention to the NFT world.
Yeah.
But that this bike, there's an NFT along with it. I would almost guarantee or imagine. Should we take a quick break? For those in the free feed, enjoy your mattress ads. For those on the paid feed, thanks for being a member. If you'd like to avoid any of the advertisements that are starting to show up on our free feed, make sure you sign up. escapecollective.com/join. It's a very easy solution to not have to listen to any ads. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Premier Tech joins up with the brothers Rudhooft. Welcome back, everybody. Premier Tech joins up with the brothers.
Brothers
The
Grimm.
brothers. The brothers Rudhooft. The D in the middle of Rudhooft got my
Yeah.
mouth confused there. So what's going on here? So Premier Tech obviously left Israel Premier Tech a month ago
Early
ish.
November.
Early
7th
November.
I think it was.
And then they kind of popped up. Didn't they pop up also
Oh, yeah, the French pro team.
with Alison
Yeah.
Jackson's new team?
Yeah.
What are they calling it?
But
Biscuits.
not as a co-title sponsor. So it's still Ober 93. That's how it. Well, it's
Okay.
It's about a 6-foot-long name.
Over 93,
but
but
Premier
with
Tech does
Premier
not
Tech.
include.
But they're like on the
They're
going to
be on the jersey, but they're not
Yeah.
going to be
Okay.
in the name.
Okay. Anyway, so they went there. We heard reports of basically as soon as they pulled out of that team,
Yes.
the entirety, every single general manager in all of pro cycling on both the men's and women's side pounced and said, "We want that money," because clearly this is a company that, despite the fact that we don't have a clear picture of their sort of connection to cycling,
Yes, true. That is a good
they
question.
make agricultural. They
Stuff.
you can
Stuff.
buy peat.
I
You
was
can buy
actually
things.
talking to someone involved in cycling, kind of, who used to work for Premier Tech, and even when they worked for Premier Tech, apparently didn't really have a huge idea of what exactly they did. Which, by the by, anyway.
I mean, Premier Tech. Like, just think about the name.
Yeah, it's not a good name for what they
No,
do.
it's a great name. It's because you could do anything.
Oh, that's true. I
What do you
suppose.
do?
Yeah.
We make the best tech of anything. anywhere.
Yeah.
We could Escape Collective could sell a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Well,
We
that's-
could
be-
sell ropes.
It'd be like us calling
shovels.
ourselves just like best media or something like that,
Mhm.
or
Yeah, I could
best
entertain that
best
idea.
content.
Ugh.
What if we call ourselves
Good,
best
yeah,
content?
good to average podcast. Yes. So
Okay, tell me what's going on, Johnny. Sorry.
So with so Premier Tech joined up with the brothers Rude-Hoofd,
Yeah.
and then the CEO of Premier Tech, Jean Belanger, I presume he's
Boulanger.
some-
Québécois.
Yeah,
Is he
Thank you.
Québécois?
Well, with that name, maybe, but
unconfirmed
Unconfirmed.
reports of
Oh.
Québécoisness of Jean. Probably Jean, not Jean. I think we can
I
go
think
for that.
that's
Yep.
at least a fair
Yeah.
fair guess.
So he told the trusty boys over at Wheeler Flitz, gave an interview about
Yep.
the process of coming to the Alpecin team. Jean said, I got a lot of WhatsApps and emails. Many people were interested, but that was a bit opportunistic, I thought. But with
Yep.
Christoph and Philip, I found a human connection that goes back at least 5 years. We would grab a coffee or a glass of wine, or I'd get a short informal message on WhatsApp. It was about building trust and forming a good relationship. So basically, he felt that the Rude-Hoofd brothers had, they'd always liked him, not when suddenly he was the prettiest person at the dance.
Yep.
They'd always been there, and then Jean does go on to say, yeah, obviously them having Mathieu van der Poel helped a lot, but it wasn't the whole reason. It was that he didn't feel that they were just they played the slow game, right?
Yeah.
They
Was-
obviously were after his money, but they were just much smarter about it and didn't just like greedily rush to his door with their hands out.
So follow-up question.
Yes.
Are the Rude-Hoof brothers sending short, informal messages on WhatsApp to the people behind the sponsors of every other pro cycling team?
Maybe, because I once heard from a younger Belgian journalist, and maybe this is like a cultural thing, maybe within cycling world, maybe the wider business world. I heard from a younger Belgian journalist that an older, retiring Belgian journalist said that the way to be a good reporter was to text your various sources every single day to build a
Jesus.
relationship, which is an insane thing to do and probably gets you in a restraining order.
I don't
But-
even text my brother every single day.
No,
I
me
don't. There's
neither.
no one I text every single day. That's insane.
I text my
Um,
wife every single day.
Oh, that's sweet.
Usually like, what's for dinner?
Less-
What do I need to get at the store?
But yeah, maybe that's the Rude-Hoof brothers' way as well. I like the idea of an informal WhatsApp. Does that mean that
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a
Premier
good
Tech
point.
CEO is like clearly like a big business guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe people are signing off WhatsApps with regards or sincere, yours sincerely, which would be weird. Maybe I'll start doing that. I don't know. But good that Premier Tech's still in cycling, and then Alpecin signed on for an extra 2 years with an option for third with Mathieu van der Poel's team. But De Koning are stepping away.
Yeah, and I think that's a big pointer in this is that we've heard all year that De Koning might, or it was looking to step back, but then we reckoned that they were going to stick around for at least one more year. But it sounds like what has happened, or what was facilitated here, was that their survival was already guaranteed, but there was an option to an arrangement was made that De Koning could be cordially released, and Premier Tech was ready to step in, and it wasn't a kind of desperate situation like, Ineos was one of the teams apparently banging on the door, and there are a number of teams who are kind of desperate for money.
You gotta send.
and this was different. Yeah,
You have to send short, informal messages on
yeah.
WhatsApp.
Offer a glass of wine
this is-
instead
this-
of
like- Like, are the Rude-Hoof brothers sending short, informal messages to the brothers over at EF? Like, are they weaseling in their way in?
Maybe.
Are they playing that long game all over the place? Did they? Because there was no indication that Premier Tech was ever going to leave this team, right? Like this was a team that had come together, Canadian connection, all this sort of things that made sense, and yet 5 years ago,
But maybe they had a conversation before they joined up with Israel Premier Tech. Maybe
Maybe.
they've been having these conversations for a while, and so they were like, "No, let's stay in touch, but we're going this way." That kind of thing.
maybe
yes,
maybe
I get the impression that Christoph and Philip Rude-Hoofd are pretty canny operators. So
that's what I'm getting at.
yeah,
That's what I'm getting at. Like,
But-
are they? We always hear about. Oh yeah, so XYZ sponsor is leaving this team, even if they're given sort of 6 months notice, it puts whoever's in charge of finding a new sponsor, the GM or whoever, in a bit of a time bound kind of issue, right? Like that they need, okay, I need a new sponsor by October. And so then they go around hat in hand and they seem very desperate and they a bit opportunistic, etc. Exactly like Jean has said here. I wonder how many of them are sort of like running the it's not, again, Johnny, you made the joke about not the joke. It's true. What this Belgian journalist told you about needing to text sources every single day. No, which is probably a bit excessive. I think that most of the folks that we would consider good sources for us would dislike that particular approach if we were texting them every single day. But there's something to it, right? We cultivate sources here in journalism. The Roodhoof brothers are cultivating potential sponsors, and I wonder how much of that does go on.
One
really.
is much more lucrative a practice than the other.
Significantly.
The Roodhoof brothers do fascinate me slightly because they obviously operate, what they've set up is pretty impressive. They win a lot of big bike races thanks to Mathieu van der Poel. A lot more bigger wins than other teams who have, longer histories or more money, bigger squads, yada yada. But then unconfirmed rumours that I've heard a couple of times at least, that there is often quite a lot of friction between the Roodhoof brothers in terms of trying to manage the team. Because obviously I think they split it a bit with the sport and business, and obviously those two things can come into conflict. So I hope one day when Belgian journalists decide that they don't no longer need to have the Roodhoof brothers liking them, that we get the full story on what exactly that relationship is like and that team and all the ins and outs. Because I think it's actually more interesting of a story than it would appear on the surface. Another team manager who does not have a bit of a Roodhoofed way to him is Marc Madiot.
Oh, yes.
And that's because partly Marc Madiot has been expressing forthright opinions about things that don't necessarily concern him, or just that, maybe doing the media game a bit more. As the Roodhoof brothers talk to people forever, but not really say much often.
I would say we probably shouldn't, throw stones in glass houses, etc.
Oh, sure. But there's no way. Marc Madiot hates podcasts. I know that. So we're safe.
Wouldn't I would pay for a Marc Madiot podcast.
Oh, it'd be quite funny.
It would be incredible.
I would think about it.
Yeah.
I would for sure think about it.
Can you just imagine the volume of stories that Wheel of Flits would get out of a Marc Madiot podcast?
Oh my goodness!
It'd be like every single episode would be 4 stories.
Yeah,
right. Marc Madiot hates this rider, loves this rider.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, that's the story that we have today, because turns out
exactly.
Sometimes I don't know, Kaylee, if we're going to be presenting the story and it's brand new information to you or not. So I do that for your benefit and also the audience's, because anyway, Marc Madiot, big fan of Wout van Aert over Tadej Pogacar.
Yeah. So this was on Friday night at the Vélo d'Or award ceremony, where Pogacar won for the second year in a row.
But wasn't there.
And
Rough.
Pauline Ferrand-Bravo won for the first time. She's also the first. She wasn't there.
Oh my
I
God,
don't
that's
think.
depressing.
Mark Cavendish was, though, to reveal a new award in very awkward fashion on the stage. The Best Sprinter Award from 2026 will be called the Mark Cavendish Trophy. But back to Madiot.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's even more. Everything I'm hearing is more and more depressing.
Is this still a L'Equipe thing?
Yes. No, it's a Velo thing. But L'Equipe is
L'Equipe and Velo are the same.
Yeah. So, but they make they're very deliberate about it, not being this is about Velo magazine. But anyway, so
French Velo magazine, not
exactly.
owned by Outside Velo magazine.
Yes.
Indeed, yes.
Killed by Outside Velo magazine.
To own it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, this event, and any French rider who is able to turn up is invited. Paul Magnier was there in his trainers; it was great. It looks like the Oscars on a slightly smaller scale, but they make a huge deal of it.
But not big enough deal for either of the winners of the actual core award to show up.
You
It's
shouldn't
very,
be allowed to get
very
the award
French.
if you're not going to turn up, then someone else gets the award. That's how it should work.
Yeah.
I mean, we can let Harry Levreason off, who won the best Olympian or best Olympic because he was actually racing in Rotterdam. That's fine. But no. Anyway, to the point. Marc Madiot was there. He's French. He probably was promised dinner or something. But he got up on stage, standing next to one of the UAE staff for some reason, looking like he wanted to be anywhere else on the planet. Both of them, in fact. But yeah,
Well,
Mark,
he doesn't like UAE. Remember?
no, exactly.
No.
You know, see, this is what I'm thinking. That brilliant quote from the from Unchained. Fuck, they're annoying, or whatever he said.
Yeah. So good.
But yeah, so he's being asked about Pogacar and specifically his potential at Paris-Roubaix, which Marc Madiot, of course, won twice. After having also won a Tour de France stage and kind of a little bit dabbling in GC early in his career, but not really sticking around at the top of the table. But anyway, Claire Bricogne, the French sports writer who co-hosted with David Miller, she asked Marc Madiot at one point, to give his thoughts on Pogacar, and then he admitted at the end of a spiel where he was complimentary of the man. He said he's a beautiful symbol for cycling, but then I'm actually not a fan of Tadej Pogacar. And then Bricogne, she says, so who is your chouchou? Now, chouchou in French means essentially darling. And credit to Madiot, who actually picks this up and runs with it. He said, "Mon chouchou, c'est Wout." Or Wout.
Oh, love it.
So his darling is Wout van Aert. He then says he is the ultimate rider.
Wow.
Now, as you've pointed out, Johnny, I think there's a massive amount of context underneath this statement. Pogacar has been a thorn in the side of every bicycle team, especially the French, for almost 7 years. So I think there's a lot of that going on. I mean, also, Wout van Aert is kind of more of a rider in the Marc Madiot mould, so you can kind of understand where that's coming from.
That's how I read it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the guy who won Roubaix a couple times.
Yeah.
Right.
So I get it. It's just,
Wout van Aert doesn't win the big one.
And
fairly
Wout van
often,
Aert does
which
not
is the
steal
most
wins from
FJ
Madiot's.
coded thing ever.
Yep. Yeah. Lots of not quite the king of second places, but close. Right. Yeah. It all makes sense. It all checks out.
I mean, you have to watch the little clips because they are hilarious. I mean, Marc Madiot has got a storm over his head when he's on stage with the UAE manager. Whose name I can't remember who it was.
Why turn up? Why is he turning up?
Is it Machin or?
No, it's neither of the big boys.
Okay.
One of the other guys.
One of the DSs. Hauptmann.
Oh yeah.
The Slovenian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like Pogacar's DS.
That's he was probably picking up the award for him or something then.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wow. Well, what a night at the Velodor. So glad they all turned up. I don't want to see that Mark Cavendish clip.
No, you don't.
He turns up to everything, didn't he?
It's. I mean, poor Cavendish and David Miller. At the moment, I mean, Miller does this kind of little sidestep across the stage.
He would have got paid a lot of money to. Just
no, but
turn
they
up
look like they are. They look like they are being asked to. I don't know, dance naked in front of a football stadium. They they were being paid plenty, I'm sure, but yeah, it just reminds you that these are sports people who do not want to be on a stage talking to a crowd of people who don't speak the same language as them particularly well. Maybe it's
David Miller speaks French.
Oh, I know, but and so does Mark Cavendish, but
he's
pretty well.
He's in marketing at Factor now, David Miller. I was just on an email chain with David Miller last week about something related to Factor.
Did you ask him
he's
how he found the Velodor?
I should. That'd be funny.
It just seems a funny combination. It seems a funny gig to have, but
yeah. I mean, I would imagine they grabbed him because it's a big name. They need somebody to speak English, right? They know that, and he does speak French, so he can kind of like keep up with the rest of proceedings.
Yeah,
because Cavendish can't. I don't think. Not in any meaningful way.
I think he's got a bit of a grasp, yeah.
Yeah.
But But he doesn't
Yeah.
like speaking
That's
English, so
I imagine it's in Mark Cavendish's overarching ASO deal that he's probably
Here's-
got, you know.
Here's a question: has Mark Cavendish been retired long enough to have a Mark Cavendish trophy yet?
I'm surprised it wasn't announced last year.
It's a good question. One
Feels
I
to
do
me
not
like
have
the-
the answer to.
Like that's got to be more. I mean, often, and you know, I don't take this in an overly morbid way, but often those are like after
Posthum-
death kind of. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other named awards are the Eddie Merckx Award for Best Classics Rider, which also went to
Okay.
Pogacar, and Lorena Wiebes. And then there's a Jeannie Longo Award. She's also still alive.
You're kidding.
Ferrand Prévot won
the
that
Jeannie
award as
Longo,
well.
the Jeannie Longo Award for your husband being found with EPO allegedly award.
Let's just kind of keep sliding on with
Okay.
the story. And then there's the Bernardino Award for Best Frenchman. Congratulations, Kevin Vauquelin.
Do they know they don't have to make every single award named after someone?
Yeah, but that's how you
It's
get
how
the-
to get them there.
Yeah,
That's how to
that's
make them
exactly
turn
what
up.
I was going to say. Is that's how you get Mark Cavendish to
Yeah.
show up.
This is also desperate.
Just to put a little, I mean, one of the maybe the most creditable award is to put a slight, to bring the mood down a little bit is the Gino Maida Award. Now
Okay.
that was inaugurated last year, and Luis Angel Mate won it. This year it was Matteo Trentin. So basically, it's an award for activism off the bike, for sociological or environmental change. So
I like that. That's great.
so that is an award that, and Matteo Trentin did turn up. He gave a good speech.
Good.
So that's I made sure to include that in the story because I think that's possibly the most valid of the awards, and the most most important and significant one.
Yeah, if you're a cycling fan out there and you're looking for people to be a fan of, that's probably the people that win that are the ones you want to be a fan of. Matteo Trentin is a fantastic human being as far as we know.
Yeah.
I do. I wonder. We tend to do some awards at the end of the year, right? We're coming up on. There's not that many more episodes for the end of the year for us, actually. If we were going to do an award show,
We should do an award show.
we should do an award show. Could we just name all of our awards after other people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
not
they
not
can
like
be
just for being
awarded
good.
for really, really obscure things as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that is our remit. I think we should get working on that now.
All right, we'll work on that.
And then
We'll
we
Can't
should,
wait.
we
we'll
should
record
tag-
that one.
we should tag
That
the
can be one that
winners.
goes up while we're on
Yeah,
our little
good
holiday
idea.
here.
We should
Yeah.
tag the winners and then see none of them react at all. And then whoever does react gets the prize for reacting. And then it becomes,
Well, I'm saying that we not only need to tag the winners, we need to tag whoever we have deemed to
Nominated.
name
Yes.
the award after.
Yeah.
Right? So and that could be an
Yes.
active rider.
Or a team that we want to get
Yeah.
back on side.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, Ineos, we've named an award after you.
Yeah.
Be our friends.
I don't think it'll work.
No, I don't.
The final thing on Mark Cavendish, as soon as we brought him up, there was an interview with him recently in the Financial Review, which I'm sure is a real page turner, where he's talking about how, cyclists and stuff don't make enough of their image and like make enough money from whatever, in terms of like maximizing the economic potential, blah blah blah. But he said that he is considering developing his own economic structure in order to help realize cycling's true potential.
So this is One Cycling, the Cav Chronicles.
Yeah, maybe, but for
I bet
riders alone, like an agency sort of thing.
Yeah, I bet it's more like a image rights focused
Yeah.
agency, which is he wouldn't be the first one to have that idea.
No.
Yeah.
But I need to see him Wolf of Wall Street style thumping his chest in
Would
a
be great.
boardroom or something.
Would be great. Yeah, I
And
mean
wearing a suit.
the fundamental problem with that concept is that there's no juice to squeeze.
Yeah.
Right? Like where would that money come from? That is where it is currently going, right? Like maybe a bit, I guess, like the teams, but the teams aren't making any money off that either. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there you go, Mark. Kaylee says don't bother.
I don't say don't bother. I just like One Cycling is sort of like, okay, we're gonna try to grow the size of the pie, right? And that
Yeah.
concept, the image rights concept, is more like we're gonna take a larger piece of the existing pie for riders, which is if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I'm just saying that the pie's not that big, so good luck, Mark. good luck taking any more pie when teams are barely alive. I think that'll be an uphill battle. Yeah. Let's take another quick break. When we come back, Netflix buying cycling, maybe. We'll talk about other in a second. Welcome back, everybody. Netflix has begun the process of acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery for $83 billion US. A sizable amount of that they're doing by raising debt, because that's never gone wrong before. But the really sort of the more interesting thing for us here, other than general media industry.
I thought you were just going to leave it at,
yeah, the fundamental issue here, if we're going to like do little media study stuff, is that the way that TV made money for decades has just suddenly stopped working. Right, and they're trying to squeeze as much out of it as they can before it like fully stops working, but they're also trying to then change the business so that it can be ready for what happens when it does fully stop working. Right, so they're trying to both squeeze as much cash out of the old way as possible while setting themselves up for the new way of making the new model, basically, which they don't really know what that is yet. No. by the way,
and Netflix. Kind of in much the same way as Team Sky created a monster and then kind of lost control of it. Netflix is in that position.
Yeah, I mean, if they hadn't, somebody else probably would have figured out streaming.
Well, yes,
at some
but
point,
also,
right?
but they have become quite behind their competitors, and so to get Warner Brothers and HBO Max and in the package, and I mean, it's terrible news for all sorts of reasons.
I mean, the great news is that shareholder value is likely to be maintained, if not improved. There are a whole bunch of bankers and lawyers who are going to make a enormous amount of money off of these various things splitting and coming back together and splitting and coming back together and getting acquired and moving over here. There's a whole bunch of people who are going to become very, very, very wealthy off the back of this. The unfortunate news is anybody actually making anything.
Yeah, or trying to consume anything. Enjoy anything, frankly.
Is going to get hosed by this.
Unless you want to watch the Tour of Poland followed straight by Series 4 of Mad
Johnny,
Men.
Tour of Poland is a terrible example because nobody can ever watch the Tour of Poland.
Oh, yeah, sorry, fine.
We should specifically talk about what's going to happen with cycling here, and we'll preface this with much is still unclear. Yeah. In fact, we were discussing this before we hit record, and my understanding was that the plan was to continue with the previous Warner Brothers plan, which was to spin off all of its sort of live sports and streaming as a different company from like what made movies, right? That was the plan before, prior to this potential acquisition. It sounds like maybe that's not the plan anymore. So potentially cycling streaming, along with lots of other sports, would come with this and end up on Netflix. Is that right? Potentially. We don't know.
I mean, the thing is with the TNT, because you got. Within it, you've got TNT Sports, which is what most of the UK and a bit of Europe watches. But then you have HBO Max, which is what America watches cycling on. So it's all these different swirling parts. TNT Sports has been losing a lot of money. I think they've also lost quite a lot of rights going into the future. They have the Tour de France ones locked up for a while. But financially, it's not good. I think across the board for various sports, like even the Ashes that's going on in the minute, I think the feedback on the quality of the broadcast product has been poor. So, especially when you're getting to this, merger points, and you're talking about like the Harry Potter franchise versus cycling. One's going to be a much bigger priority in terms of where to like put money in promotion or getting the most out of that IP that you own. So. The prognostic midterm would be that not even worse than it currently is for cycling on TV.
Yeah. It's just unlikely that anyone high up the chain there is going to really advocate for it.
Yeah.
That's the fundamental. But it'll just get lumped in with a whole bunch of other sports that are currently owned, and you'd hope that they would treat them well, but
or they'll spin them off.
Yeah.
Maybe sell it back to ITV. And then they can rehire everyone to make that show.
At some point here, ASO, right? They own the majority of the most valuable rights in cycling, they need to start being quite careful about who they're selling those rights to.
Yeah.
Right? Because at some point, like, we could very easily end up in a situation where, for example, like, America can't see the Tour de
Yeah.
France.
You start getting news.
Right? Some massive,
in the old
massive,
way.
massive market just literally can't see it, which you don't have to go back that far for that to
Yeah.
be true previously, right? And so it is absolutely possible, because the amount of money that, you know, these massive media companies are paying ASO for the rights is small enough that they might just not, right? They might just decide that they're going to take the tax write-off, like Warner Brothers previously did with an entire movie. I forget what the movie was, but like, made an entire movie, decided that it would be more lucrative for them to
Yeah.
just kill
Bury it. Yeah.
bury it, takes the tax write-off, and just move on, right? That sort of nonsense could happen with cycling very, very easily. And at some point, like, yeah, you know, we as consumers here, we're just sort of hoping for the best. But the people selling those rights and putting those contracts together, I think they need to be very, very careful of this in the next 5 years or so. Because, yeah, there's absolutely no guarantee that this stuff doesn't get just washed away. Now, the good news, I guess, in the American example, is that none of the companies we're talking about here own the Tour de France or ASO rights in the U.S. That's Peacock and NBC. But this exact same sort of thing could happen with Peacock and NBC. There's, like, I think NBC and Comcast was one of the other bidders
Yeah.
for all of this anyway.
Coyote vs. Acme was the film shelved. by Warner
Yes, there you go. I never got to see it. Yeah.
No.
I think it's time to head to After Dark.
Yeah, we've got a number of things still on the docket that only the paying members will get. So we've got Jordi Meus has been having fun. Well, Jenny Vermeersch has been having fun with a Sharpie pen at the expense of Jordi Meus's bald head. Richard Carapaz is now Dr. Carapaz. Not in the medical way, in the fancy pants way.
Huh?
And then Van der Poel.
I feel
Yeah,
like
we can have
medical
some
doctors
cyclocross
are
in
fancy
the-
pants
in
too.
the-
Not
after
but
that.
not the same as, like,
Yeah.
you know, more okay. I don't want to have to try and figure out my.
Well, let's
stance on
just put it this way.
I mean, in, like, for a more academical, not
Right.
like just
it's
medicine.
research.
Yes,
yeah.
that thing. That
I mean,
thing.
doctors research it, but yeah.
Yes, you know what I mean. Though, like, in books, in offices.
Essentially,
having drinks or
folks.
something, I don't know.
Essentially, for the
Whatever.
purposes of this particular doctor, it means nothing.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Van der Poel was sprinting against a French amateur and nearly crashed and wrecked himself.
Oh,
Saw
we
that
also
video.
need, speaking of
Discuss
Van der
that.
Poel, we need to send thoughts and prayers to cyclocross because it basically ended this weekend.
Oh,
sad.
what you mean is I'm about to start watching. Great. That's
Well,
great
because
news to finish the
Van der
show on.
Poel's turning up at the weekend next weekend.
Good,
So,
goody.
and Lucinda Brand is walking all over her rivals. So it's yeah, I mean, which is great.
very
We
nice.
love Lucinda Brand, but you know, we like a good bike race. And yesterday was a bloody good bike race.
Well, let's
But anyway.
see if we can fit it all into After Dark.
All right. If you want After Dark, head to escapecollective.com/join, sign up, get the member feed. As I said before, you can now get the member feed on Spotify. We'll put the link in the show notes again today, so you can get that. We've been watching those come through. It's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have already done it. So apparently there's a big group of you that want Spotify. So let's head to After Dark.